Well, there's Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida, Republican of Florida, who has emerged as a superstar of the Republican Party. There he is speaking truth to power, the truth about Joe Biden, the allegations, getting him out there. And here he is on the fake news, CNN, owning the network. An unbelievable moment that went mega viral that we'll get to in a bit. But first, Congressman Donalds, welcome to Newsmax. Great to finally meet you in person. How are you?
Good to be with you.
So how bad is it for Joe Biden right now? You think he's sweating it?
I think he is, but there's a lot of people who are dissembling, trying to ignore this. Obviously, media doesn't want to cover this at all. They would rather focus on other things. The other thing I think has occurred in our country is they had to have known this indictment on Donald Trump was coming. And so is it a coincidence that Christopher Wray allows members of the Oversight Committee to read this FBI document on the day that an indictment's coming down on Donald Trump? I don't think there are any coincidences in this situation, but I do think he's feeling the pressure and that they're sweating about it. They're just happy that the media is covering up for them up until this point. And their real hope is that this story fizzles out and that something else happens in our politics so they don't have to answer the fundamental question of Joe, where's the money? And what'd you do with it?
That's what he asked the other day, too. Where's the money?
And now I'm asking him seriously, because all signs point to he and his family were getting money from foreign companies, foreign countries. We've seen it with Romania. We've seen it with China. We now see it with Ukraine. We have this document pointing directly to Burisma. And the only reason why Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma was because they needed him to be the conduit of influence peddling to Joe Biden. We see in that document that they sent the money through multiple accounts on purpose to hide it from investigators to get to Joe Biden. So now we're talking about money laundering. We're talking about tax evasion, I believe, because I don't think Joe Biden put on his taxes that he got $5 million that he spent. So there's all these things that are going on that need to fully be investigated.
You know, in 2017, though, they put $10 million on, and people are trying to say he made it off the book, and we don't think he made it off the book, his first year post-vice presidency. Let me ask you this. You've seen the 1023, right? You've
Yes,
seen it?
I've read it.
You've read it?
I've read I've read the redacted version that FBI brought to us. Just
tell us, this thing is real, this thing is substantive, this is so much more important than the Steele dossier, which was fiction. I mean, this is a real thing. This is not just we're all hanging on to something. Tell us about that.
Well, look, this document is a report from the FBI's own confidential human source that the FBI has said is a highly credible source.
That they've paid before.
That they have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to, that I believe is still working for FBI as a confidential human source. So this is their internal document, not ours. Number two, this is a document where Chris Wray was basically fighting James Comer from seeing a document that we knew we needed to see because it came up from a whistleblower who was giving us information about what's been going on behind the scenes. That's number two. Number three, what this document clearly shows is that Joe Biden was involved in a pay-for-play scandal, and that he used the power of his office at the time, being vice president, to get the Ukrainian prosecutor fired, because the Ukrainian prosecutor looking into Burisma would have stopped Burisma from being able to get involved and raise capital in the United States.
Can I ask you about that one thing? And I hear it from the left. Well, this was the policy of the European Union. Everybody wanted this prosecutor fired, Shokin, right? Mm-hmm. And I like to point out that, well, who was in a perfect position to make that the policy? Possibly policymakers like Joe Biden. But what do you say to that part?
Two things. Number one, people could have wanted the prosecutor gone, but it appears that Joe Biden used the power of his office to actually do that. That is corruption. That is public corruption, no matter how you want to define it. Second point, Nancy Pelosi led an impeachment effort against Donald Trump over a phone call trying to find this information with Vladimir Zelensky. My thing is, well, geez, I think we know now why there was such a rush to move with this impeachment, to distract from the fact that there was information in Ukraine about Joe Biden using the weight of his office in a public corruption scandal and getting paid as a result of it.
James Comer has been here a number of times, and we like him. We like the work he's doing. Sometimes I sense that Speaker McCarthy kind of wants to corral him. Don't go too far on this. You got to make it about legislation. You can't make it about, I don't know, impeaching Joe Biden or driving him from office. Is he kind of telling you guys to cool your jets a little bit?
No, actually, I don't think so. Look, I'm on oversight. I work with James Comer a lot. We go through a lot of these issues. He calls me. We talk about next steps in our process.
But McCarthy is the one. I'm wondering if he is the one who's saying,
No, I mean, that's what I'm trying to relay. Yeah. I don't think that to be the case. Chairman Comer, and when we talked at the beginning of this Congress, it was about going through the process methodically to get the information, to get the right information, to be able to document it and present that evidence to the American people. And so we don't want to be like how the Democrats were, where they're just pulling at straws, using phony information to just try to go after President Trump. We want to lay out the evidence clearly for the American people. So as every time we go to the camera, we're bringing a new piece of information to lay the case. If it ends up being impeachment, then that's where we go, or whatever the case might be. And I think Chairman Comer, from everything I've seen and what I know, he's not been encumbered in this process.
When you go on camera, it's pretty wild, especially when you go into the belly of the beast, CNN, and it went mega viral. Let's take a little quick peek at what happened. I don't remember the occasion, actually. What was the occasion? What was?
It was
right after the town hall.
Right at the town hall.
It goes on for about 15 minutes. It's amazing. The moment they get criticized, I mean, they criticize you guys all day long. That's all they do. The moment you turn it back at them, they want to call security.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, look, the press is very comfortable being protected by other members of the press. When you come in and challenge them, then it's a challenge to their worldview, what they're thinking behind the cameras, what the editors are thinking, what the producers are thinking. But it's important to go into that environment and challenge that. And here's why. There are a lot of people at home who watch these networks. They may not watch Newsmax. They should, but they may not. But they watch CNN, they watch MSNBC, and that's all well and good. But they don't turn the channel. They don't take an opportunity to see a different point of view. So bringing another point of view actually helps people read between the lines and see what's really going on politically and in our country. So that part was fun. The second part is when you actually bring actual facts and real information to the table and not this, they like to talk about, how it looks.
The narrative.
What does the narrative say now? Where do we go politically? No. Let's get to the facts of what's going on. I think that's critical when you go on these shows.
Congressman Byron Donalds, we so appreciate it. Continued success. Come back soon, and we'll be right back.